Okay. Um. So welcome to my first book event. Uh. Thanks for taking the time to attend my first book event. Just wanted to let you know that the video that's it's just me, so nobody else is in it. Cause after I'm gonna I'm gonna do some edits and then I'll make it available on replay. But nobody else is gonna be in that. So once again, uh, thanks for attending my first book event. And is it just check like one? It's good. It's running. Yeah. Okay. So why is this cap? If I can, if I'm not talking loud enough, just let me know. So why Kefa Cafe is the first? Yeah, I'll just talk loud. Why Kefa Cafe is the first location for my first book event. My history goes back to Kefa Cafe to around 2012 when I was a runner. I often ran in Sligo Creek and Silver Spring and went to Kefa Cafe as a midway point during my outings. I often ran by myself and also with my dad. I also visited Kefa Cafe from Montgomery College often as well. Kefa Cafe, coffee stores, and Montgomery College Tacoma Park were all foundational centers in my authorship career. Cafes like Kefa Cafe are important places for people to develop their own soul, craft, reflections, and purposes in life while enjoying the hobby of coffee. Foundational centers like this cafe are excellent places to bring notebooks, journals, or drawing journals and allow individuals to experience a very human pastime of reflection and writing. And just a behind the scenes with my journaling experience when I go to Montgomery College or coffee stores. I didn't bring any phones or any electronic device. The only thing that I brought was an iPod to listen to music sometimes. But pretty much everything I ever wrote was just or ever like did was from handwritten on drawing journals. Uh, all my authorship career is due in thanks to cafes like Kefa Cafe and the student lounge facilities of Montgomery College, Tacoma. From 2013 to 2017, I brought my drawing journal in these locations and created a goal setting workbook, which I would eventually call the Cycle Case Number Goal Invention System. I created that goal setting workbook in 2013 strictly for personal and private use. However, in 2019, I decided that my method of setting goals is too much fun and beneficial to not share with the public. So I began writing my first book called Goal Invention, the Mental Therapy Sport and Hobby, which I finished at the end of 2020. And this is my first book. And at the very least there's a lot in the book, so I recommend that at the best way to get started with this is to read the accomplishment stage chapter 1. It only takes 3 hours to read, and then after that uh, you can get started with cycle 1 stage 1 in the workbook section, and at the very least you can just do stage 1, like cycle 1 stage 1, cycle 2 stage 1, cycle 3 stage 1, cycle 4 stage 1, all the way till the end. So that's a way to at least experience some of this goal setting system, even if you're not quite ready for the whole thing. So I released my first book at the end of 2020. Following following my experience of writing my first book, I used my first book to help me pursue other written projects. I'm now the proud author of 5 books, ranging from textbooks to directories. All of these accomplishments were rooted from foundational centers like Kefa Cafe, Louis Cafe, Fenton Cafe, and Montgomery College facilities, where I could drink coffee and bring my drawing journal. Without these locations, I would not be an author, plain and simple. So please join me in a round of applause for Lenny and Abeba of Kefa Cafe. So I'm now gonna say the acknowledgments for uh for 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 the book. So this my first book event. I'm promoting the book event, Light Sensitivity Paint Reduction Techniques for Electronic Devices. And this book this book involves a very global collaboration, and it all goes back to 2020. So when I met a painter, and his so the illustrator for this book is is called Amungwa Linus, and his painting name is KAYAMAN, and he's an amazing painter, and he made a custom painting for me in Cameroon in tw- like in 2020. So that was very it was and not only that, he's been Kaya's been very supportive with all of my efforts, and I have posters of his painting that if you really like his poster that he made customized for me, you can purchase one of his posters, and then the profits will go to him. And currently he's abroad outside of Cameroon, but he's mostly there. And I also thank my sister Kaylin for creating the electronic device logos for the book. There's some she painted some electronic device logos for me that I could use. I also thank the Cameroon collaboration team. It's Itoike and Silas. Itoike and Silas from 2019 to 2021 helped me and Kaya form our initial collaboration. And an interesting thing is that Kaya and I are very similar. We're almost the exact same age, only by a few dates. And we both, prior to our collaboration, we didn't own a smartphone. And so I used my friend. So my friend Silas helped collaborate me to Kaya with Kaya's friends, Atoike. So they're the Cameroon collaboration team, Toike and Silas, from 2019 to 2021, which really helped get all these projects running. So really thankful to Toike and Silas. And I also thank my sister. Uh, 1 second. I also thank my sister for being the technical support and book formatting specialist. My sister helped me solve hundreds of technical issues and tasks with all my books, and I'm very thankful for my sister to help me resolve all of the technical issues. I also thank yeah. I also thank my proofreading and feedback team, my mom Joan and my dad Russ Arlotta. My mom and dad read every single version of all 5 of my books from 2020 to 2024. My mom and dad offered feedback, advice, and provided grammar fixes for all of my books. Each book that I wrote each book that I wrote had anywhere from 10 to 30 unofficial versions, as I wrote each book gradually, and I thank my parents for their contributions and unmeasurable support as they read every single version. And yeah, and I think this is another thanks that also has to be stated is Politics and Prose. The store Politics and Prose. Politics and Prose Open Self Publishing and the former manager Gareth. From 2020 to 2022, Politics and Prose, Opus Self-Publishing Division in District in DC. They helped me so much with the self-publishing process. And even though my contract ran out with them, I'm very grateful as all my early versions of my books, of my first three books originated there. And Gareth was a really great help, really great and patient person to deal with all of my ambitious projects. And if you think my books are like they were not always like that. It's there's like 10 to 40 versions each, so there's a lot of it's not an easy process. And I think a round of applause for Gareth. And lastly, this is unrelated. This is unrelated to any particular. This is unrelated, but I thank Louis. I thank Louis T Network, Bad Dog Sports, NFC East Super Friends, Commanders Kings, and especially Louis T Network for providing countless thousands of hours of entertaining sports commentary since 2012. And the reason why I point this out is because a lot of the time when I worked on my goal setting workbook, I like even before it was a book. So I listened to Louis T for thousands of hours, and very nice. And also about a quarter of the time that I worked on my projects, I was listening to the sports commentary channels that I just mentioned. So I'm really thankful to have the relaxing people that make Commanders sports commentary like Louis T Network. So I think we should give them a round of applause. Okay, now I'm gonna start my book event, the actual presentation. Okay. Medical disclaimer. I'm not a doctor, and this book is not medical advice. Seek medical consultation before attempting any of the techniques addressed in this book. I wrote this book, Light Sensitivity, Pain Reduction Techniques for Electronic Devices, to chronicle all the methods that I developed over the past few years to reduce eye pain while using electronic devices. This book is intended for individuals with chronic light sensitivity conditions. However, the general population can also benefit from the teachings of this book. For example, for, for example, if you if maybe your eyes get tired after 8 hours or 10 hours, so that's pretty much a general population thing. So that's why the techniques in this book can be used for general population. So I developed a chronic light sensitivity condition in 2020 from a small accident. This accident caused chronic light sensitivity issues. In particular, the accident caused light sensitivity to human-made artificial lights, such as human-made lights and electronic devices especially. The accident also caused light sensitivity for outdoors. Yet my main eyes issue is the inability to process artificial light without eye pain occurring. And it's important to point out that light sensitivity does is not always caused. In my particular case, um, the, the the light sensitivity issue was not caused by electronic devices. So I don't want anybody who reads my book to be afraid of electronic devices, because the actual cause which caused that was completely unrelated to electronic devices. So don't be too worried about electronic devices, as there's many causes of light sensitivity. So that's probably best to talk with your doctor to find the best cause. This this book is all about applying techniques to work around chronic light sensitivity conditions in the aims of being able to use electronic devices without eye pain occurring. And this this is a very unbelievable concept that I never even thought of prior to this happening, because to be able to be in a room with to be able to have perfect vision otherwise, but to have but for the eye pain to occur instantly with using art human made lights or with electronic devices, it's a very unbelievable concept that even today I I have I struggle with trying to grasp how that's even possible, because by all eye tests my eyes are perfect, but in terms of dealing with uh, art light sensitivity from electronic devices and human made lights, it's a real issue. My book, light my book, Light Sensitivity: Pain Reduction Techniques for Electronic Devices, specifically focuses entirely on teaching techniques and methods to reduce eye pain while using electronic devices such as televisions, monitors, laptops, cell phones, and tablets. The importance of this book's teachings is to reduce eye pain for individuals with chronic light sensitivity conditions. My book's teachings also strive to enable individuals with chronic light sensitivity conditions to be able to use electronic devices with the least amount of eye pain occurring. So, and just so anybody that lives around me knows that being around me is a battle of lights, because at nighttime I'm always turning off the lights. However, in the daytime I'm always opening up the curtains, because I can so because I can handle the natural light from the sun way better than lights. So I'm so it's a small joke that I told my sisters that I bring darkness wherever I go at nighttime, but in the daytime I bring light. So and not being able to watch movies and shows, and not being able to play video games due to chronic light sensitivity conditions is a very difficult and frustrating experience. I quit handheld video games such as PlayStation Vita and Nintendo Switch because they were too difficult on the eyes. So there's some activities that I was forced to quit because handheld video games, it's close to the eyes and it's hard on the eyes to process all the visuals up close. And the However, I can play a game that's doesn't have plot, that's free roaming, like a skateboarding game from far away, as long as there's not a plot, because basically the worst that you can just wipe out. That's pretty much so. That's the that's my game that I played. This is why I created this book, to provide a written manual for individuals with chronic light sensitivity conditions to experience the joy of using electronic devices with much less eye pain occurring. For individuals with chronic light sensitivity conditions techniques are often the only way to watch movies and shows. In my book, I explain all the techniques that I use to reduce eye pain while using all 5 types of electronics: televisions, laptops, tablets, monitors, and cell phones. An interesting feature, an interesting feature uh, that I'm really proud of in my book is at the end of each chapter, there's a customized uh, uh, page where readers can write down their individual settings for each device that they're using. So it's very customized because everybody's eyes are different. So I allow the last page for that opportunity. Another thing that I admire about my book is that every chapter has that I dedicate each chapter to a specific device, because every device has its own challenges. So each chapter is for one device because every device has its own challenges, and they're never ending. So it's always an effort. So that's what I really like, is because it breaks it down into each chapter, into each type of device for each chapter. In my book, I provide detailed information and instructions with helpful pictures on how to reduce eye pain, specifically while using each respective type of device. The pictures featured in this book are very useful as they help to illustrate the teachings of the book in practice. And on a somber note, my dad passed away from a medical illness last year, and I originally released this book in 2023. However, in 2024, I completed several months of editing and improving this book while my dad was in the hospital in New York. So the finalized version from last year, which I made everything finalized and professional, is a special place in my heart. And yes, and I'm very grateful that my dad was able to come back home from the treatment and read the finalized version of this book in between one of his treatments in summer 2024, which is the canvas here. This is from summer 2024. So I think we get another applause. So a question. So why is this book important? Because watching shows and movies brings entertainment, relaxation, immersion, happiness, escapes, and purpose in life. For individuals with chronic light sensitivity conditions, the inability to watch movies and shows without eye pain occurring causes difficult and negative situations for such individuals. The The negative effect of not being able to watch shows or movies on electronic devices is what drove me to create techniques to work around such light sensitivity conditions. The knowledge presented from this book is the entire sum of years of firsthand experience I learned from 2020 until 2024. And just furthermore, this book really helped me create this book. So I'm really proud because it's like my first book. This my goal setting system helped me create everything. So I'm very helpful. I'm very happy that this, and especially it's very important, at least to stage one from the accomplishment stage in this workbook. I'm just reminding everyone it's very easy. It's the easiest part of the book. So the very bare minimum, learn chap learn accomplishment stage, and you can just do accomplishment stage from cycle 1 to cycle 10, and do the hard stuff later. Um, I I discovered and practiced the teachings of this book firsthand while writing and typing 5 written projects from 2020 to 2024 while dealing with chronic light sensitivity conditions. However, it's important to note that this was this was not without a lot of downtime and a lot of downtime and compromises. For for example, ever since the accident, I wrote the first drafts of all of my books. I wrote them on paper, and I did all of my edits from printouts. So anybody who saw my rooms when I was working on my books, it looked like I'm a professional printing place or something. And in terms of the important thing to mention with the light sensitivity is there's a lot of downtimes. So about more than half or the majority of my year, majority of my days I don't look at electronic screens at all because the downtimes are important because you got the eyes, you have to be selective with the eyes and don't want to tire the eyes out. So that's a big thing. Only my family will understand. Like when I say that I'm on my downtime, they understand. While while the techniques addressed in this book do not cure chronic light sensitivity conditions, I believe that the techniques taught in this book will equip individuals with chronic light sensitivity conditions with methods to potentially reduce the amount of eye pain that occurs while using electronic devices. Just another reminder that this book is not medical advice and to seek medical consultation before applying any of the techniques addressed in this book. And also, I'm not a doctor. My, My book, Light Sensitivity Pain Reduction Techniques for Electronic Devices, is available on Amazon in paperback and digitally on Play Store. I recommend the physical paperback version of this book for individuals with chronic light sensitivity conditions, as it is easier on the eyes to read physical books. Um, I would greatly appreciate if you told your friends and family about this book, and if you do read the book, to review the book. I'm also excited to announce that that this was my second book that I ever wrote. I'm also excited to announce that my book, How Cell Phones Cropped, Distorted, and Visually Censored Cinema, Let's Save Cinema, that I finally created a promotional channel, and my promotional channel is called Let's Save Cinema Productions. So once you get home or whatever, just search on the YouTube, Let's Save Cinema Productions, and my channel will come up, and it has a picture of me, and that's where I have two promotional videos. So I'd greatly appreciate if you watch my promotional videos. And my most recent one was a 40-minute show, which I spent 3 months on. So I'm very proud of it because it's my first full length show, and I copyrighted the script because one day if I meet any friends that are professional documentary makers, then I'm gonna have to ask them to help me out. And thanks again for attending this book presentation. Please feel free to recommend this book to anyone in the medical field, in particular ophthalmologists and eye care centers. And I dedicate this presentation, this book, and all my books to my friends, family, extended family, and my parents. And my final message before we do the book signing and selling is to please listen to my dad's music on Spotify. And you can do that by searching Russ Arlotta on Spotify or your favorite music streaming application. Because he put his music on every music streaming application. And I would also like to give a message of music from my dad, and because After the illness became terminal, he really wanted to spread a message of listening to music and to playing music. So maybe if you played an instrument and you haven't played it in a long time, like 10 years, you can play again. And and you can play music, play more music. And uh, and with that, I think I'll finish my book event with a round of applause for my mom, Joan, and my dad, Russ Arlotta.
Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be okay. The sun gonna rise tomorrow like it did today. Don't dwell on your mistakes. Don't wallow in heartbreak. You and I and all the rest have had those days when we failed the test. Say you're sorry, make amends as best you can. Pick yourself back up, start again. When you make your fresh start with an open and chastened heart, you'll be humbler and wiser by far. Let love and forgiveness be our guiding star. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be okay. The sun gonna rise tomorrow, just like it did today. Everything's gonna be okay.